All right, welcome back. Welcome back. It's been a little while. Chaos Conversation back in the building. I can't hear you, Bruce. Unmute yourself. There we go. There we
Just
go.
popped up there, man. That's all. You know what it is. What's going on, fam?
Hey, it's been a while since we've seen you guys. A little chaos, a little conversation, little COVID.
Little life of that COVID-19. Y'all president allowed to happen. Don't know why, but
That's your president, your
you
favorite
know you
guy.
voted for him, Sam. You know you voted for him, Sam.
That's your favorite guy.
Nah, man. That's your right hand man. Look where you stay at.
Right hand
Don the Con Trump. Y'all can have him. Time for him to go because Miss Harris and Miss Harris and Biden are on their way. So time for y'all so-called president Don the Con Trump to get to stepping. That's right. I said.
I hope so, man. I hope people. I hope people that want. I've talked to a lot of people, and a lot of people's relationships over the past 6 months since this virus has entered the country and has taken over with a lack of leadership. A lot of people's relationships have been affected because of this virus.
Too many relationships, man. Matter of fact, the divorce rate is not quite as high as the unemployment rate, but it's catching up with it. You know what I mean?
Oh, give it a few months. Give it a few months.
A few weeks, man. There.
A few weeks.
Jeez.
Plus, think about how many people have been inside a lot.
Yeah.
I bet a lot of babies are going to be born around April, May, June next year. There's going to be a lot of babies. There's going to be another baby boom generation.
There's going to be a lot of babies made in the first quarter and a half of the next year.
Right.
The first quarter and a half of next year, because ain't nothing else to do in your house, man. You stressed out, and sometimes with all the benefits in bed, a daggum stress reliever. So
what about the help of those few bottles sitting behind your head right there?
Hey man, if you want some Moscato, well, a little something to sip on for the fun of it,
I don't drink the sweet wine. I don't drink the sweet stuff.
Yeah, I know you don't, man, and I can't handle all that heavy stuff. You'll tell me drinking too sometimes, man. Some of y'all folks, man, who just want to stay home and drink all day, y'all can drink. I'm a social sipper. That's all, sir, ma'am.
I hear you.
I'm a social sipper.
I hear you. When you see me, man, I've been growing the beard. I'm trying to be like you, man. I'm growing the beard out. I'm gonna cut it. I got a surprise for you guys. I'm gonna change it up for my birthday, but I'm not gonna cut it at the very minimum until the birthday. So we'll see.
You're looking like caveman, Franklin. Come on now. From Uncle Sam to caveman. Really, man, really. Because Miss A, all I know is back to our topics though. We definitely gonna talk about congratulating Miss Harris, because I believe her and Biden can go ahead and rebuild and give back to the community what it deserves and where it deserves to be in life as far as jobs, relationships, even, because there's nothing like a woman and a man's perspective from two different backgrounds who also have the same vision of where they want to go and take their relationship as far as politics and as far as others relationships as far as life goes on, partnership, and move this country in the positive right direction, of which Don the Con Trump has been moving it in the negative way, any way he can, negative direction in every way he can. Correct that, because it's crazy, but at the same time, this is what I honestly believe America needs right now. No lie. She has a bigger resume. What was it back? She had a bigger resume her first year as a as a
U.S.
district
senator,
attorney.
A U.S. senator.
As a district attorney, she had more. That's a resume bigger than Don the Con Trump's right there. She had to file for bankruptcy. She had to get married 5 or 6 times. She just, that right there itself is is enough to kick Don the Con Trump out of office right there in 2004.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about her record, since you wanted to bring that up.
Okay.
We're talking about let's talk about her record for a little bit. So a lot of people, when she was running for president, commented on the fact that when she was attorney general from 2004 to 2015 of the state of California, for those of you guys that didn't know, so that the California attorney general was located in San Francisco. No, she was San Francisco's a district attorney. Sorry, from 2004.
She was a district attorney in 2004. And then in 2011, she ran for Attorney General.
Right, and then Attorney General.
Yeah.
So while she was the top cop in California, or the top prosecutor, I would say, some of the things that people were upset at her office and her for, because she was leading the office. So what happened was some undercover cops killed a 21-year-old. He was killed by undercover police officers. She was later talking about how the police were just getting tough on crime. And then again, during all this transformation of policing in the United States, and more, human rights and more equal rights for people, her office was known for weaponizing technicalities that kept, people that have been wrongly convicted in prison, rather than allowing them to have new trials, with correct counsel and things like that. And one of those cases, I did look up this one case. This guy's name is Kevin Cooper. He was on death row. And, it was the same thing. He had been wrongly convicted, and she would not allow him to have a new trial. In other words, George Gage, who actually will die in prison.
How many cases was she, how many big, huge cases would you say ran through Miss Harris's office while she was in the office as the district attorney?
Big cases that were well known, they would say about 15 to 20. Like
15 to 20. Okay.
In that Cooper case, that guy was just talking about, Kevin Cooper, she could have easily demanded DNA testing. And she actually refused to allow him DNA testing, which could have proved his innocence.
Now, see that right there. Let me pause right there, because moves like that is all about why she denied. Now, why she denied is, not really irrelevant, but it was a huge decision that she had to make, like I say, on the spot, while she had the chance to. But at the same time, out of all the cases, it's like, all right, choosing the best case at the best time is, people are only human, you know what I mean? But I think Biden, not to get too far off subject, but I think Biden chose her because of how accountable she tries to hold, not just himself when she ran against him, but, others around her who were, in her time of office.
So then in 2015, the legislative Black Caucus in California
give me 1 second, man.
Said, you know what? We want you to support a bill that mandates that all police officers wear body cameras. And then as the Attorney General, she declined, and this was after police involved shootings. She declined to vote to support police officers wearing body cameras. And at that same time, they asked her if she thought marijuana should be legal, and she just laughed it off. When we know that many poor people, many brown people are being locked up because of a plant that grows where other people are not being locked up for these same things. And so the funny thing was, when she was running for president, she thought that marijuana should be legal. So to piggyback on what you said, while she was Attorney General, she was doing one thing, and then when she ran for president, 3-4 years ago, she changed her tune a little bit, and some of her policies have changed since then. But I think the problem with Kamala Harris is she needs to come out and talk about her record. She keeps dodging the questions and kind of quiet about it.
That's one thing I will say Ms. Harris needs to go ahead and do. And you know what? If you guys agree or disagree, I ain't got time to care. If you agree or disagree, go ahead and send your comment, or go ahead and call in if you can, because one thing she's gonna have to do is admit, the time she's dropped the ball in the past. If she doesn't admit, if she don't come up front and admit when the time she's dropped the ball in the past, like even when Obama ran for office, even though he was running for president, she's running for vice president, but he still, threw it out there that, he wrote in his biography book that he battled cocaine at one time. And the minute you throw that kind of stuff out there, they're not gonna be hanging it over your head, every other time you try to speak and prove, why Don the Con Trump should leave office. Then, it's like, okay, I'm already putting it out there. We know it. I'm aware of it. And, that's old news, you know what I mean? And you can't change the past. So that's what I think she should, you're right, though. She should definitely do that, is throw all her flaws, throw all her, everything you done did wrong, go ahead and put it out there. Because if you don't, someone else will. And then we got the same man in the mess that's in office right now, that Don the Con Trump, he need to go. By any and all means necessary, he need to go. Yeah, I said it.
That's your fraternity. That's your fraternity, brother. You guys are in
Get
that
the hell out of here,
fraternity.
man. So you done lost your mind in hell, man.
I
You
Omega
know,
Small Hands. That's your
I
fraternity.
don't even shoot. Now, let me see. Let me see what some of these comments up here is talking about. Okay, not too much just yet. All right, they looking, but
You
all
know,
right. And see,
with,
another thing, man, is
go ahead.
what?
No, I
Now I'm
said,
saying the diversity that Biden has had, and Biden was good enough, smart enough to, I guess, when he was on the poll with the rest of the people who were running against him for office, back in 2016, was it? When was it? No, it wasn't 2016. It was
what are you
earlier this
talking
year
about?
when Biden was when she was running against Biden. That was last year. I'm talking about
Three,
16.
three, 3 years ago.
Yeah, and so even then, he was wise enough, smart enough to go ahead and listen carefully to who was saying what. And see, one thing I noticed he picked up on was how accountable she was holding not just him at the time, but others around her. You know what I mean? Because it was there was a lot, there was many options he could have picked from, but one thing I noticed he did was chose not just he didn't choose some fool like Donald who's ruthless. He chose somebody who's relentless, not afraid to speak her mind. And
Right.
that's one thing, I can definitely hold him, applaud him on, you know what I mean? Shoot.
No, I
Because
mean,
I mean, she has like I said, her first years in office as a district attorney. That's more on her resume than Don the Con Trump could ever come close to. I ain't gonna talk about the rest of her resume. That's enough right there. You know what I mean? Not to mention, she also in 2011 she was Attorney General. You know what I mean?
right.
So we're gonna talk about that a little bit, Sam. You'll finish up when you were.
Now, what do you want to talk about?
Her when she was in office from 2011 as Attorney General. Attorney General. That's again way more than Donald Trump has been in office, man. He ain't got no resume. He got a resume as a businessman, not no, Attorney
No, I mean,
General.
she does have a in terms of now, if we're not going to look at her policies and we just say, okay, we're going to look at
Wow.
just the resume, right? Just the highlights on the resume, not the
Yeah.
details of each position she held. She's one of the most qualified.
Ain't nobody flawless.
To be
Nobody's flawless.
one of the most qualified people to be in the White House, you would say, right?
There you go.
She was a district attorney. After that, she was the attorney general for a state. Mm-hmm. After that, she was a U.S. senator, or she's a current U.S. senator.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at that, you say, okay, well, the person's been around some positions where she had to make some tough decisions. She's had to use judgment. Maybe we can review those things. Maybe it's not the best. We don't think it's the best, but at least we have the opportunity to review it. And then she's been a U.S. senator where she's had the privilege of being in a place where not too many women have been, definitely not too many black people,
senator,
definitely not too many black women. So
black female senator.
She's been able to hold that position, and she held that position through some tough years, the last 4 years. So she's battle tested. I mean, I think that's the thing that people want to see. They want to, Joe's getting a little old, and nothing against that, but some things slip his mind sometimes, and sometimes it seems like he's that angry old guy, But
now see, he's Biden. No, so check it out. Biden is, to me, he is too calm. He's too ABC 1, 2, 3. She's not just ABC 1, 2, 3. She's more, like I said, relentless and not afraid to speak her mind. She won't be as foul as some of your so-called President Donald Trump is. She's not that foul, but she'll speak truth as far as not what you all in the audience want to hear. She'll speak what you guys deserve and need to know. You know what I mean? Not in every case, but in most matters in most cases that matter most. You know what I mean? And when you look at her resume of the position she held and the case that she had to take on, can we sitting at home always say, hey, I would have said this, I would have done that? Well, yeah, you got a lot more to think about. I mean, you ain't got all this, you ain't catching hell from all angles. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a lot of things going on that people don't know. I mean, I've been privy to some of that information. I read a lot more and around some people that get their hands on a lot of information. And it's a lot of stuff that the average person has no clue what in the world's going on. But at the same time, we elect these people to represent us. And a lot of times they go to DC or the state their individual state houses, legislatures, and they represent themselves or whoever's donating the most money to them. That's who they represent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What about representing the people that don't have a voice? That's who the people want. And that's why little Donnie, little small hands, was partially elected. And then he was installed by Putin. But
now see, he
partially elected because people liked it. People didn't care what he was saying. Lies. They didn't care what he was saying was lies and it was factually incorrect. But what he was saying was exactly what he thought. He didn't give a shit what people thought, and that's why people liked him.
Yeah. Yeah. See, Don the Con Trump, all that fool they was doing was saying what other people, how other people, not really what they felt, but he was saying what they wanted to say for so long, and before you know it, their true colors start, showing. You know what I mean? But I mean, and not to get too far off, but one thing else I recently found out was that Miss Harris and Joe's son actually know each other too.
You talking about? I forgot his name. Not the one that's dead, but the one that. I
forgot his son's name.
The one that's alive now.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I know that, but it's small world, whatever the case is. But that's the business of politics right there, man. And
yeah,
also,
man, I mean, it's at the end of the day, we look at it as like it's a small club. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and see, one thing I will say, what would you say, Sam? Or what do y'all think? Watching in, tuning in, what do you all think sets Miss Harris apart from old girl that ran years ago with what's his name? I don't forgot her name that fast. What was her name?
Who are you talking about?
The white chick that ran with oh boy.
You're very vague there. You're talking about Sarah Palin?
Palin. Now, I know Ms. Harris I know her, like I say, less than half her resume and accomplishment is way more than Ms. Palin. But now, Sam, what would you say compared to Ms. Palin?
Oh my God.
Where she stands as far as that's concerned. I mean, to me, she's
the only thing positive I can say about Sarah Palin was she had a family, and she was a
no bears attached.
Miss Alaska or whatever she was. But other than that, man, she was brain dead. She had no clue. She knew nothing about, international affairs. She knew nothing about politics. She knew how to smile. She knew how to say, you betcha. You betcha. She knew how to say that.
You trying to say she was Sarah Palin was the female version of Donald Trump? Is that what I'm hearing?
In some ways, yes, and in some ways, no. But yes, she was the originator. She said she could see Alaska from her house. They would ask her how many books she reads about, foreign policy and things like that, and she said, "Oh, I read all of them." They were like, "Well, name some."
Lying ass.
Of course, because she was lying. She was lying to
lying ass.
She's never read a book on foreign policy ever. I've written paper after paper after paper after article after op-ed on these things.
Then now how would you say now how would you compare the way they try to call her out compared to the way they try to call Miss Harris out for cases and things she said and done that to the public didn't seem right at the time or at right period?
The governor, she was the governor of Alaska. She was the mayor of a small town in Alaska, and then she became the mayor. She became the governor. Sorry. Just due to, I think, partly due to her looks. Men are idiots and men are stupid. So if you put a pretty woman in front of them, most guys don't know how to behave, and I think that's what happened.
Don't be talking to you. Hey, Sam. These people stop talking about yourself like that, man.
No, it's not. I'm not talking about myself.
Yeah,
it's about you. But she, because of the way she looked, they let that influence the way they voted because she had no clue what she was doing. But he was good at jumbling words up together and making it seem like she was talking about something, but she really wasn't talking about anything. And so that's how she won as governor. But she didn't have to make tough decisions as the Alaska governor.
Nah.
Not too much going on in Alaska. There was some drilling going on. There was some drilling and things like that. The hardest thing she had to deal with was her daughter and her daughter's baby daddy and stuff like that or whatever, family drama.
Personal issues going on, basically. That's all he's trying to say is personal issues she had going on, but still she made sound good decisions, for the time being, but maybe not for the long haul, but for the time being, because I mean, that's why I keep hearing it all day long. You can't miss business with pleasure, because it'll, you know, if one gets in the way of the other, it's going to slow them both down. But in her case, I mean, she still carried herself well. If you ask me, she still carried herself pretty well to, you know, accomplish and do what she felt was right, again, at the moment, whether it was for her family or for, you know, the people, for the community. And so, yeah, she is, I mean, to me, she has the one of, if not the best resume to be vice president. And being that she, you know, she's there, man, all we can do now is claim it as her being vice president and, you know, making history as the first, you know, not just the first female vice president, but the first Black female vice president. You know, even the dad is from Jamaica, and mom from India, and, you know, having your mom and dad in your life, man, teach you the pros and cons, do's and don'ts, rights and wrongs. Trust me, is a much bigger factor than your dad teaching you to buy companies and file bankruptcy once your ass can't handle it. That's a whole lot better than, man. Shoot.
I think
you get remarried every time you do too.
I think little Donnie is scared of I think he's scared of Senator Harris. I think he's scared of Senator Harris. He called her what? The meanest, most horrible, most disrespectful senator. And she should probably wear that as a badge of honor, meaning that she asked real questions to the rapist on the Supreme Court, Kavanaugh. She asked him real questions. She asked real questions during the impeachment hearing. You know, and it's funny how people treat women that are tough and ask real questions and that are intelligent and speak out. You know, it's a congressman, Katie, I forgot her last name. And I like her a lot just because of the research. You get on me about doing the research. People don't do the research. A lot of times when these guys get elected and they go to DC and do these things, they get caught up in everything, you know. They don't actually read and research these bills and do the research behind it, so that when they have these hearings and we see them on C-SPAN and on TV, you see them with facts, and those people are just lost. They're dumb.
That's why I tell folks, man, Sam,
it takes with some facts.
It takes reading, research, remember, and reviewing before you reveal to whatever it is you want to talk about. I don't care if it's politics, you know, your career, music, or whatever you're doing, is, you know, your work, your job. That's what it requires if you're going to sit here and, you know, if you're going to be introducing yourself to the public, to the people. That's what it's going to take. I don't care if it's even religion, you know what I mean? Whatever it is, you got to do the reading, researching, remember, and reviewing before you reveal. Because if you do like, you know, Donald Trump and you just reveal what the hell ever just to get a round of applause, I'll be like, you know, kiss my off. So what? Bye.
Right. Yeah, man, it's crazy, man. I mean,
it is.
It takes a lot of. It's crazy what we're here right now. But you know, we want to transition to a new topic.
What's that?
It's a lot about Kamala Harris, but we'll have a lot to talk about her her and Biden over the next few months until November. But we do want to urge everyone to make sure you're registered to vote. If you're not registered to vote, get registered and find one person. If we all make sure we're registered to vote, and we try to find somebody that is not registered to vote, and bring them, make sure they are registered to vote.
You know what?
Donnie won't get reelected.
That should be a game we play, man. You know, everybody who's registered to vote, if you can find somebody who's not, you know, have them put up $100 or something, man. I don't know anything, man, to get y'all guys motivated to go out and vote, man. Because I don't vote because I'm not as big of at the politics as Sam is. And
hold on. You said you don't vote. What'd you say?
I said I'm not as big into politics as you and many others.
Okay, just making sure I heard that right.
Whatever you do, don't be like, you know, Sam and go vote for that fool Donald Trump, you know, who's in the White House now. Don't be like that fool, man. Go ahead and do your homework, do your research, and, you know, if you're gonna vote for whoever you're gonna vote for, do your research and make sure you got some common sense, man, before you vote too, man. Not just
don't have the common sense.
Hold up. You know what I'm gonna tell y'all, man? Do not hold on, Sam. I'm gonna tell you, do not fall for these stimulus checks. I don't care if it's $5,000, $5 million. Don't y'all be falling for these stimulus checks thinking, oh, you're gonna re-vote for this fool Donald Trump because you get a check, it don't bounce, it has a comma in it. Don't be falling for that, man, for real. I'm telling you, if y'all gonna fall for that, man, take your assets off my friends list and stop following me on social media too, if that's you. But don't be doing that, man. Because you know what? I saw a bunch of posts up there of people just saying they ain't voting for Biden because he ain't ever sent them no check. I'm like, really? Really? Get the out of here, man.
Wow.
Get the hell out of here. No, for me, I mean, I'm not sure if they were serious, but they have you read their posts on social media, Instagram, Facebook, email? I mean, all these joints going out here, man. They sound serious. And I'm like, really, man? Really?
That's your friends. That's your friends.
That ain't nothing. Oh, get out of here, man. You the one sitting there supporting Kanye West run for president, man.
Oh,
Even though he can't run.
That fool.
Yeah, but for real, whatever y'all do, don't fall for that, man. Because all he's trying to do is, pull every trick he can in the book, man, and try to get reelected. But I mean, if you guys can't see from now why Don the Con Trump don't deserve to be in the House, I mean, I don't know what to say to y'all. I don't know what else to say to y'all. Every other president we've had from, I think Ronald Reagan was the last one who hasn't done 8 years in office. Don the Con Trump don't even deserve 8 more seconds in the White House, if you ask me.
No, Bush Senior was a one-term president.
He was one term. Okay. Yeah, and see that right there, that should tell you, I think, even as a Republican, hey, that don't matter. What matters to me is, what you do in office, not just for one group of people, but also what you do in office is for the community of the people. And I mean, it's definitely, pretty difficult, man, when you haven't done your homework on, who deserves to be in office. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the problem is people say that they want to have a president. What do they say? Oh, I want a president I can have a beer with. Well, the reality is you shouldn't want to have a beer with the president, right? You need somebody smarter than the average person that makes life and death decisions for the military. They lead.
There you
go.
They
don't write laws, but they lead. Yeah. This president, even though he criticized President Obama for executive orders, this guy's declared way more executive orders than President Obama ever could have dreamed of. So if you want to talk about a king, this guy became a king when the Republican Senate would not convict him for his treason and his traitorism that's not even a word, but for his being a traitor against his country. With the Russian propaganda. And then it just came out, a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
This dude was Russia put bounties on U.S. soldiers. So I don't want to hear none of that bullshit. People talking about taking a knee is disrespecting the troops. Most of my family been in the military. So is Bruce's.
Mm-hmm.
My cousins, my best friends right now in the military, right? Still serving this country.
Jay.
Retire. Mm-hmm. But let's get one thing clear. Putin and Russia put bounties on U.S. troops. And what was Lil Donnie's response? Nothing. He went and met with Russia. He met with the Russian ambassadors, invited them to the White House. And Putin, he had those meetings with him after he knew that Russia and Putin had put bounties. You guys know what bounties are? It means that for every U.S. soldier Russia killed or whoever killed in Afghanistan, they were going to get paid. And he still didn't do anything about this. And the GOP and the Republicans didn't care, and they don't care. So when people say, oh, they support the troops, that's bullshit. You support something just as a bumper sticker to put on your car or a shirt.
Who was John the recently passed man? Who was the candidate just died recently died, man?
Congressman John Lewis.
Yeah, John. Okay. Lewis, when Mr. Lewis recently just passed away, you got Don the Con Trump, who didn't even show up, and you had President Obama. President Obama. You had former presidents, I think Bush Senior and Junior, both, gave their speeches.
Clinton.
That's it. Clinton. Yeah, it was Clinton.
And Bush Jr. was there.
Yeah, that's it. My fault. It was Bush Jr. and Clinton and President Obama there giving their speeches. But here it is, Don the Con Trump ain't nowhere to be found, and he didn't even hang up Obama's picture, man, in the White House. And what kind of mess is that? What kind of mess is that? Because it is that is, to me, is just crazy how in the world you'll tell y'all so-called president in office and acting a damn jackass on steroids. I mean, that fool, even, you know, what was it, about 2-3 years ago, when I was it last year or the year before, when after they won the Super Bowl, and this fool gonna go buy some daggum cheap burgers at McDonald's, man. I mean, what, it's like that's not much to do about, you know, the community or helping the people, but I'm like, he's not even caught up to date. He ain't got a damn clue. He's just doing whatever. He's so behind. He's too far behind. And
some people like that, man. Some people like that.
No, the question is, Sam, why do your people like a crazy fool like that? That's the question.
You mean like you?
Get the hell out of here.
Like you?
I hate that.
Here's a good question. We had a listener reach out and
who's that? What are they talking about?
Some of the, I'm gonna withhold their name, but
Go ahead.
They wanted us to talk a little bit about since we started talking about COVID earlier, and most of our shows are usually about relationships. You know, the next few months we'll have a lot about politics just due to the election coming up, and we'll do our part.
We're gonna have some questions. We're gonna have some statements about relationships, just not the whole show, though. I'll tell you that right now. Maybe
we'll use our platform and do our part to try to help dethrone the dictator. And you know, we'll try to do our part and give people as much information as possible. Bruce and I volunteer. We'll make sure we're out and about in Raleigh on election day, doing our thing, helping people, driving people to the polls, and making sure people have access to ballots. If you need masks, we'll see what we can do there to get masks from some organizations and give them out to people so that they can go to the polls. If they want gloves, you know, we'll try to see what we can do about that as well. Sure. That's a different topic. That's a bigger thing. But
whatever I'll do, make sure y'all register to vote and make sure you vote.
There you go. But some people, a person hit us up and they asked about, you know, specifically people's relationships and things being affected by being around your girlfriend, boyfriend, if you live together, or your spouse or significant other or whatever, essentially nonstop for the last 6 months. You know, since February for some people, March for most of us, but being around them nonstop. In your opinion, what are some ways you can have your own time or your independent time by yourself, even though you're restricted to movement? A lot of us, you know, we can't go physically to our jobs, so we're at home working. Maybe we go.
Good question. Good question.
What is your thoughts?
I mean, even while history is being made like it is now, I mean, you got so many devices where if you need some, what most ladies call it the me time. That's what most ladies call it. Most guys just call it, you know, I need some time, period, which is, you know, time to themselves. When you need that during all these elections, during this COVID-19 going on, all you got to do, man, is get you your smart pad, you know, get you some kind of smart pad, your smartphone, something, and go take a walk. Even though it's down here on the East Coast side, it's raining a lot. Go take a walk somewhere where there's not a lot of traffic. At the same time, you know, if you don't feel like carrying no umbrella, then go to a place that's kind of like dead. You know what I mean? Like what's dead around this area? Like Cary Mall is a place that's dead. There ain't nobody there, and you can walk in there, do some mall walking. You can walk in there and, you know, look at what's going on in politics right now, what's going on in life, period. I mean, it's like you can go, somebody else can go look at this old video of old girl running her boyfriend over because he cheated on her. I mean, go look at something that's going to get your mind off of, you know, get your mind off politics if you think politics are stressing you out, or get your mind on relationships and what's going on in others' relationship, and you can learn what can help yours go on in your relationship while you're away from your partner. Now, some ladies won't let their man go nowhere without them.
Let's talk about it.
So I don't even care if a man say, hey, I want some me time to go, if a man say, hey, I want some time to go, you know, check out these politics by myself, or go check out some other things by myself, you know, she'd be like, hey, I'm coming too then. And he'd be like, hey, babe, you know, it's just,
what if she's like,
I need some time off.
Why do you need to go by yourself? Why do you need to go by yourself?
And there are some ladies who, I mean, because I ain't gonna lie, some fellas, we like to talk sports, we like to talk, you know, life, relationships, we like to talk politics with just the fellas. That's just the way some men are. Sometimes. And then some men are out there who have have left a bad taste in their woman's mouth, or she had too many previous relationships that she hasn't completely let go of. You know, hey, this my man ain't gonna cheat. She hasn't let go of that yet. So it doesn't matter why he's stepping away to, you know. But there's always a time for either you give your man, your woman some time, or they're gonna make some time to get away from you one way or another, and it's gonna, you know, it's gonna ruin. It's not really ruin. It's it's going to make it even more difficult for you to trust him. But because they're asking you, hey, I need some time, have a talk, but don't go against why they need that time. Just have a little small talk. Well, why do you need it? Okay, well, because my job stressed me out and I'm trying to cuss you out. So let me get away from you, as you know. But don't be trying to challenge it all the time or disagree with them if they need time. They know themselves better than you do.
Yeah, man, that's very true. I think some people I say time, you can get away, you can go on a walk. A lot of people have bought, it seems like everybody's bought a bike for some reason these days.
It's summertime.
You can't find a bike anywhere, but people are buying bikes and
you can't ride no bike, Sam.
I say find if you don't feel like, some people are nervous, they don't want to leave their house. So if you don't want to leave your house, find a little spot in your house maybe that you can decorate or turn it into like your own little personal area and make it your own, right? It doesn't take a lot of money to
the house to
decorate and call it, make it your own. But I would say even if you're afraid and you don't want to go out into like public places that are inside, get in your car and just drive around if you have a car. I've done that, especially when this first all just happened. I would get in my car and just drive around a little bit just to clear my head some days, right? You can see things, a lot of construction might be going on where you live.
Play some music if you have to.
But you just see things, clear your head, play some music, or go on a walk, right? Put the earbuds in, put the headphones on, go on a little walk, clear your head.
Stay 16 feet away.
16 feet away. Yeah, there you
16 feet away from anybody you see out there with their dog.
You don't want that person coming the other way, coughing as they're walking by you, But yeah, I think there's a lot of ways people can find that independence and do little things. I mean, some people like to play like little games on their phone. Some people like to play video games or
whatever can give you a piece. Whatever can give you a piece of mind.
Can take your mind away from all the chaos going on around us and put your mind at ease. I say go for it. Some people like to play golf, right? We played golf a few times. Some people might like to watch movies. Some people might.
Everybody's stress reliever. I think everybody's stress reliever is different. So you, again, knowing yourself better than your partner knows you. If you're in a relationship and you feel you need time, the best thing y'all can do is be honest about it. Because some people, I have a family member talking about politics and fussing out his brothers is what's more stress relieving for him than anything else, than going to a spa, than going to, go for a walk. That's more, I don't know why it's more stress relief for him. I guess because, they're arguing or something, and while they're arguing and not really fighting, but they're arguing politics and this and that, I guess that's his stress reliever for what makes him, just clear his mind for whatever else is going on.
Maybe it's because they've been hearing about it and they don't really have anybody to talk about it or discuss it with.
It's like, and his girl don't know a daggum thing about politics. So to him, to talk about politics and get it out of his system or anything is what he's a truck driver, if I'm not mistaken. So that's his stress reliever. And it's sports, but like right now, I know big sports going on right now because everything is shut down. Like, well, not everything shut down, but not everything has opened back up just yet.
Professional sports are starting back up, but in a very isolated way. There's no fans. It's just by themselves. Like NBA is playing, but there's no fans. Baseball is playing. I don't know how long the season is going to go because so many people have gotten sick on different teams. So that may end up getting canceled.
Yeah.
I've been watching like Korean baseball. I was watching cornhole league. These guys got masks on inside throwing bean bags, at the board. And I thought that was hilarious. But golf has started back up. No fans.
UFC too. UFC with no fans either. That to me is crazy. Seeing UFC with no fans is like what in the world?
Right.
It's like acting. Like it ain't acting, but I mean it's real fighting. But it's like ain't nobody there watching it with a damn though. At the same time, it's like okay, well during these critical, cruel times we're having, I don't believe this COVID-19 is going away until Donald Trump gets the hell out of office.
It'll still be around then.
I don't think it's going to last as long. I'll say it like that. It might still be around. Because if y'all really think about all y'all who are supporters of Donald Trump, and you think about how President Barack Obama prevented Ebola from hitting real hard here in the U.S. I never forget. I think he said on the on national news that you guys are not going to like this, but for the next, I think it was 3 to 6 months or 3 to 4 months, somewhere it was months that nobody could come from outside the country into the U.S. and nobody could leave from in the U.S. out to go outside the country. And
Well,
I'm not sure how many
it was certain countries. It was certain countries.
Yeah. And then he said,
And
you
it
guys
wasn't
can travel,
directly
you guys can travel
Ebola.
throughout the U.S., but you can't leave to certain countries. Now that is being on top of, that's making America, not only better than what it is, but safer than what it is by making moves like that. But again, when this coronavirus came around, you had Donald Trump out there playing golf and on Twitter, trying to twerk his ass off, man, because he's full of it. He knew about it. He knew about this by at least by at least October, late part of October of last year, and do a damn thing about it. He ain't say anything about it till like, what was it, March or April of this year?
Well, they probably thought it was
something
that would stay somewhere else, and they didn't take the preventative measures that the Obama administration took. I mean, they took serious action. They sent a team over to the heart of where the Ebola outbreak was to try to contain it there and teach the local doctors and those fighting on the ground, the first responders, how to contain it. And they did put some travel restrictions in place very early before it ever came to the U.S.
For the safety.
And it still came. There were 2 people that got it and came to the U.S., but they were able to isolate them at the airport and put them in containment right away. And literally, those were the only 2 people that had it in the U.S. Now, could you imagine if only 2 people had COVID-19 in the U.S. and that was all that happened?
They were flying in here.
Millions.
They were flying in here, man, too fast. They were flying in here too fast. I mean, they had videos of people, coughing on the buttons of an elevator. They had people in here wiping their germs off everywhere. I mean, they had all these videos and stuff, man, but didn't think too much of it because what else was keeping us occupied at the time?
Right.
Some more bullshit, some other mess going on, man, that this world don't have time for. And there's always some distraction. Well, as a matter of fact, this is about the 4th. If you guys really do history, 1720, 1820, 1920. I mean, it's always in increments of almost a century, not really a century. Yeah, almost a century. And the 20th year of that century, that we go through something like this.
So you're saying it's like that 100-year.
The flu, the crop flu, was that called, man? It was like the Mexican flu, the Hispanic flu. What was it?
The Spanish flu, not the Hispanic.
The Spanish flu, that's what it was. Yeah, the Spanish flu. I mean, there's always some kind of flu, some kind of virus going on every century in 20 years. Go back and look at history. And I'm not sure what it is going on, man. It's sounds like legal organized crime going on, if you ask me. But when someone's in office like Donald Trump, it's like, all right, someone like him act like they can't even read or know how to, they ain't got no good team to, to prevent a virus like that. And there are some of his supporters talking about there's nothing he could have done. Yeah, there was. There was plenty he could have done.
It's hard to have a team when the people, you yourself and the people around you don't believe in science.
Yeah.
They don't believe in science. So it's hard to prevent something that you don't even actually believe exists or believe could ever happen.
That's true.
So it's just like this guy right here. This guy was 21 years old. Here's a story. He had after talking all this shit and not believing that coronavirus was real, thought it was some Democrat conspiracy. He was 21 years old. He had mild symptoms. He didn't have severe symptoms. He didn't have a fever. He had a slight cough, little throat issues or whatever, but no crazy fever. All of a sudden, he started having flu-like symptoms all of a sudden that lasted a couple of days. And about a week later, his organs started to fail. He entered the ER, 103, 104 degree temperature. And, he was in the ICU later. His body started shutting down. He didn't have pre-existing conditions. He was the beacon of health, 21 years old, no heart defects, no this, no that. But he wasn't wearing a mask, talking about, whatever, don't need to wear no mask. But then all of a sudden, he was in heart failure and acute respiratory failure and sepsis.
That sounds almost like Dadgum Kane right there you're talking about, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, so
Kane passed away about a week and a few days ago.
Who?
Kane, Senator Kane, who ran for office against.
Oh, you talking about Kane? Cain. Kane.
Kane, yeah.
Yeah, your accent was throwing me off. That Nebraska accent was throwing me off. Kane.
Oh, yeah.
Well, God rest his soul, but he was an idiot. I mean, this dude.
He had Donald marches with no mask. Not Donald marches, Donald rallies with no mask.
Right. That dude.
Help me understand.
I mean, it's ridiculous. They told us do not go to those rallies because it's essentially it's a death zone. And there's been several people that have died that were there, and a lot more people that have that got the
virus.
A lot more people that have gotten the virus. Right. They may not have died yet, but they're battling symptoms, and it's a long-term thing, man. I mean, and like you said, I don't think this is going anywhere. We were just talking about it, but it's officially been stated, and you heard it here first, not first, but you probably heard it already. The Big Ten and the Pac-10 will not play football this fall. So
I think college games and all professionals are banned.
Well, no, they're not banned. Those are two conferences.
Not banned, but I mean basically suspended. There you go.
Those are just two conferences. Those are not the ACC and the SEC and some others. But I think those other schools will follow.
They probably will.
I think they will follow. It's hard. Football is a contact sport where you're constantly breathing and spitting and in each other's face. It's not
There's
like
gonna be over 100, and I think it's at 150 to 180 billion, not billion, 150 to 180 million that businesses are going to lose because of that.
Oh, a lot of money, man. I mean, you think about all the TV contracts. Regardless of what people think, college sports, especially football and basketball at these big schools, is business.
It is.
Don't let me break it down for you and tell you how it is when you're an athlete at these schools. They give you 3 or 4 majors you can major in, and people think that, oh, these guys are college athletes. They got to go to class and do this and that. Nah, bro. These guys don't get to major in what they really want to major in. They give me that option. You don't get that option. They give you 3 or 4 majors. Here's what you can major in if you want to play here. And you have to do that so you can be at study hall. You can be at breakfast. You can go work out. You can be at film review. You can go eat. You can go do some more studying. Then you can go work out. Then you can have practice. Then you can do more study hall. Then you can go eat again. Then you can go to sleep and repeat every day.
Almost a slave to the system, Sam.
There is no studying and yeah, you get every now and then you get to have fun and hang out and party a little bit. But it's a business, and these coaches aren't getting paid millions of dollars because it's fun. They're getting paid millions of dollars because it's business. It's big business. It's fun for the players, but it's also business. And there's big.
There's players on social media right now talking about they want to play. There's players going through some symptoms right now in the hospital talking about I'm ready to play. I'm like, all right. First thing is, first thing you gotta do is get yourself right. If your ass got that COVID-19, you can stay your ass home and get cured first. Not cured, but get taken care of first. If you got some symptoms like that, like headache and sore throat and all sort of coughing and sneezing, if you got all that going on, stay your ass home. I don't care how bad you want to play. I don't care if you're a UFC fighter and you trying to fight and somebody somebody trying to take that girl, trying to take their man, back to their place to watch this fight on TV, and here your ass is fighting the flu, and you're up next in the battle in the octagon, and you got the COVID-19 going on. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna keep my girl, keep my man. We're gonna stay at home and go watch some damn Netflix or some shit, man. I'm gonna watch no UFC, and you're here, half dead already with that joint. When I say half dead, I'm like, one blow and you're out. But with you fighting COVID-19 and your opponent, it's like gonna be some fast KOs doing that joint. But it's like, hey man, it's been a busy week already, man. It's only Tuesday. I mean, I believe today was the day history is gonna be made for the Miss Harris, and hopefully her and Biden can go ahead and get Donald Trump the hell out the house, and hopefully, man, everybody, all these viruses going on. All I can tell y'all, man, is stick to food that's all natural. That's one thing I will say. And you may have to change some of your diets too.
Very
eat
true.
healthier because of there's certain foods that are not good, even if you catch a symptom, and then it's like, okay, certain foods will make it worse.
Yep.
But
There's
one thing
certain
I can
foods
say,
that
any
cause
food,
certain foods
anything
cause
that's all
inflammation in your
natural,
body. Certain foods cause
anything
inflammation
that
in your body.
anything that is all natural though is definitely what's going to be good for your body while the symptoms may be in you or to help you in general. Period.
What do you
Anything that
mean
is
by
all
all?
natural. I
What
ain't
do you
talking
mean
about.
by all natural? Do you mean no steroids, no chemicals, no,
Yeah, I mean, take for example, like
non-GMO?
just regular vegetables, regular fruit. Anything all natural. They don't have any added chemical. Like soda is not good for you, where water is all natural. You know,
Right.
I know some of y'all like me. You like that Bojangles chicken. It's not the best for you, but some some
It's
regular
definitely not the best for you.
some regular homemade chicken might be better for your fish or something. You know what I mean? Because it's all natural, no added chemicals to it.
Well, you can bread it and bake it. You know what I'm saying? Or if you
That's
have
what
an
I'm saying.
air fryer, those air fryers are
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
I
Uh,
ain't saying, hey Sam, I ain't saying it was no shrimp now. You can bake it, boil it, fry it, do all the cutting mess to it. I ain't saying it was all that. I'm just saying
but
get something all natural.
also people should make sure you're taking your vitamins. There's
Oh
nothing
yeah,
like
that too.
vitamin C and taking, even
Get
if you
the
don't have any
vitamins.
vitamins, take vitamin C. Keep your immune system build up as much as possible. All your, what
Yeah.
do they call them, carnivorous vegetables or whatever, like the green vegetables like broccoli and stuff like that. Make sure you
Mm-hmm.
guys are getting that, but at the bare minimum, the vitamin C. They're saying out there, there's studies out there where they're researching that people that did get COVID did a lot better when they were regularly taking vitamins. Their body was able to fight it off much better than people that were not taking vitamins. But
Yep.
it's serious. It's not a hoax. I mean, people are coming forward and saying, I had a cough for a couple of days and then maybe had a slight fever, but maybe, and then it went away. And then they had side effects later on, like their lungs are really scarred. And there's no real guidance right now from this president or this White House about
And
how to treat yourself afterwards. Like, because people are showing like
one other thing, man.
lung,
One
they're
other thing
showing the
is,
lungs before they got it, and then their lungs after. And it looks like these people have been like smokers for like 50 years and they never smoked in their life.
but don't buy into everything you hear because there is, the Gates out here saying they want to test certain people for vaccine and all this other stuff. But don't buy into everything you read and see right away either, because I mean the Gates appear to be good people, but I've never known the Gates to be scientists, you know, of any kind. They might know some good scientists. They might have a team of scientists, but I've never known them to be scientists. And I
Right.
mean, if what I'm reading in several different articles that are telling me the same thing, that people who are not doctors, people who are not scientists, don't buy into everything. You can hear what they have to say, but don't buy into it just cause they got a title or they got a bank account bigger than some of us will ever see in our life or lifetime, I should say.
Very
That's not a
true.
reason to buy into. I mean, you can look into what they're talking about, but talking about you want to vaccine, a certain race first, and you won't even vaccine your own kids. Help me, you understand? I mean, one young lady was like, "Hey, it is ma'am," and she was trying to get this authority, trying to get this. She was saying with authority that she wanted her thoughts, her belief level to be applied, and I'm like, really? You
Yep.
ain't even got no doctor's degree. You ain't got no science's degree. You ain't got no kind of degree at all.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And it's crazy, but at the same time, man, you always hear me saying it. We got one life to live. So when we got one life to live, you gotta be smart and use some common sense. And whether it's in your relationship, whether it's in your role in politics, or just in life in general, common sense is something we got to go back to. That hopefully, everything's happening for a reason. And as it's happening, I mean, Don the Con Trump is, to me, the only why he was in office or sent to be in office was to wake other people up that you cannot have your belief level or let somebody have too much time and attention on somebody like that who has authority to be in control and dictate your actions. That's the only reason I think he might be in office, to wake people up, say, hey, you have to get on your own and grow up and be on your own sooner than later. You can't keep depending on somebody like a fool like that to make moves for you. Just because he's sending you some stimulus check for $1,200, you probably all you gonna do is go blow it, or all you're gonna do is go spend it. Nah, go find a way to invest it, find a way to use it wisely. Is my thing.
There you go.
But that's gonna be about it though, man, because we know you got other things you're doing. And
yeah, man, we want to thank you guys for joining in. We should be back in the studio next week. We've been able to get things cleaned up and secure for us to be back in the studio. We just have to continue wipe things down before and after we are in the studio, and spray a little bit, some Lysol if you can find it. So we'll do our best to do that and be back in studio every Wednesday, 7 to 8 p.m. This video here will air tomorrow on 72.9 The Voice, or you can go to 72.9 The Voice Facebook page, or tune in the Chaos Conversation Facebook page. We'll have it there as well.
Yep.
And so until then, hey, thank you for joining us today, and we will see you guys next time.
Peace.
Peace out. There we go.